So it's been a while since I've done one of these GLee-caps. I've been really busy with work and stuff, and plus there hasn't really been that much Brittana interaction in this season. So, like there was zero in episode 1, in episode 2, Brittany 2.0. We only had that. I mean, it was focused on Brittany, but we only had Santana in it for like literally like not even 30 seconds. And then episode 3 was about the election and stuff. So we didn't really see anything of Santana and Brittany really. And then obviously the breakup is the breakup. So I'm gonna do a combination of the last until they since now they're on hiatus for a whole month. Um, Starting tonight. Obviously tonight is Thursday. So anyway, I do not have a lot of feelings. This is obviously going to go off topic and ramble since I'm going to be talking about, hold on, I'm going to be talking about Brittany and Santana. So I'm going to start off right at the bat, like kind of just how I'm feeling about the breakup. It took me a while because I was so heartbroken. I couldn't believe that they actually broke them up. Because prior to the actual episode, they kept teasing that, oh, some couples will make it and some don't, right? I didn't really expect them to completely break up pretty much all of them. Well, for sure Rachel and Finn, but in my opinion, they really broke up at the end of the season finale last time. Like Finn let her go to go pursue her dreams, whatever he wants to say, and now he's back, and I don't know. I don't know. I really. Let me just talk about the other couples, I guess, before I get to Brittana, because obviously this was a huge episode for all the shippers over there. So, I'm not really. I go on and off between being a Finchel fan or not. I really like Leah, and I really think Corey's good too. I just think I like them more as the actors that they are than the actual characters they portray. I feel like I don't want to believe that Corey is as douchey as Finn. I don't think he is, and I think that Leah plays an exaggerated version of Rachel like a zillion times over. Like you could totally tell that she is in like Rachel in a lot of ways, but just takes it to like an exaggerated point. And I commend like their acting in this episode, especially Leah's, was amazing. Like I didn't know she had that in her. She was. I mean, they were excellent in the season finale. That was like cry fest. It was really sad. What you can understand. I mean, I sort of understand what Finn was doing, but at the end, also the way that he was doing it, gave him the whole hero complex again. Like I'm letting you go so you can pursue your dreams. I don't want to hold you back. So it's kind of like it was almost like, here you go. I'm doing this for you, but it's really me being selfish too. I didn't think people saw that as much, but at any rate, acting wise, they both did a great job. So I thought the way that they ended this episode, with Rachel being like, I loved how she was saying like I don't need a man to validate who I am, basically, because I was getting pissed with the way they started off this season, like with her needing Brody's like support or whatever, which is fine. I mean, everybody needs support, right? Especially she's alone in this new city and this nice looking guy befriends her and whatever, but it's like right away it's romantic. Like he can't just be a friend, which is what I'm hoping Sam will be. It's just to Brittany, but we'll see about that. Anyway, so that's them. Like, I mean, I kind of feel like we keep going through this whole breakup, getting back together, breakup, getting back together, which is realistic, and we all know that whenever the show decides to stop, whenever it is, that they're going to be together. Like, that's just how it has to be. So, Will and Emma, again, I also think I was glad for Emma too, like standing up to Will, being like, don't just assume I'm going to drop my life to be with you. I mean, she did say when he applied for the that's blue ribbon panel that she would support him, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's gonna drop her life for him. And I really am glad that she did that. I know that now Jima is just or Emma's character is not part of the cast every week now. She's only there like on guest for like on a limited basis. It's because the cast is so fucking big. They can't even show half the characters that they have anyway. So she's only there on occasion. And I really like Jama. She's great. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, the adult storyline doesn't really, I don't really care for it. Mr. Shu, I don't really care for, but I'm glad that she stood up to Will. Um, as for Blaine and Kurt, like I've never been the biggest Klaine fan. Like I'm happy that they're together, but I kind of think like once they got together, they got boring. So I'm actually kind of glad that they did this. Only like I don't think it's fair. I don't think they should have made Blaine be a cheater. I I mean, there are other ways they could have done it, but I guess, Rachel and Finn are Rachel and Finn, and they're doing their thing. I'm trying to figure out, like, the points of breaking up. Like, Santana and Brittany decided it was because of the distance they couldn't be the way like they used to be. So I thought theirs was obviously the most mature breakup out of all of them, which is kind of surprising. And then, I mean, if people cheat, yes, that's a reason to break up. But I thought it was a cop out almost. I thought that it was disrespectful, honestly, to the relationship that they had. That like Blaine would hear like in episode 1, Blaine sings this awesome song to Kurt, sending him off to New York, being like, "You need to go. It's time for you to go." Right? Pushes him there, and then basically is telling Kurt, "Well, you're not spending enough time with me, so I went and cheated, and I know that's wrong, but I did it." And like, so I mean, Kurt has every reason to be upset and mad. And like, to be quite honest, we don't really know where they left it because like Blaine sings Teenage Dream to him, the stripped down version, which was amazing. Like, wow, Darren Criss is amazing. It really goes to show how talented this cast is when he could pull out something like that. And then apparently, this is that version of Teenage Dream. He's done it on his own tour or whatever, when he performs. So that's his version of it. So you got like a little Darren Criss mini concert in the middle of Glee, which was amazing. Uh, but I mean, I just thought it was a cop out. Like, they're kind of rehashing what happened in Whitney Houston's episode. Like, so Kurt started having that little, texting little thing going on with that kid that he met in the record store, and now Blaine turns around and does it to Kurt. I guess it's fitting in that way. Like, if Kurt could do it, then Blaine could do it, but it's obviously that Blaine hooked up with this kid. He didn't just text him. Like, he felt lonely and wanted somebody. And, I mean, that's all understandable. They're young kids. I think a lot of us, we forget that. They're supposed to be portraying high schoolers. Like, they're not 20-somethings, even though they are in real life. They're portraying, like, 17, 18-year-olds. And how realistic is it for all of these couples to be in serious relationships? It's difficult. They're all young. We forget that. And I think Santana even brought that up. We're young. It's unrealistic. Um, so who I talked about Clean, I talked about Lemma, I talked about Finch. Oh, then that's it. I guess I could talk about Brittany and Santana. Okay. So, I was trying, like I said, I've been trying not to read the spoilers and trying to get, I just want to watch the episodes for what they are. Because, like, Glee is one of those things that makes me truly happy in my life right now. The 1 hour in my life that I could be super excited about something, even about the breakup, because it was a new episode of Glee. So I kept having hope, like everybody else, that somehow they'd make it through because we all knew that Santana was going to be singing Mine to Brittany. And if you hear the Taylor Swift version of it, it's actually quite it's not that it's upbeat, but the video and everything, it's very hopeful, and you already know, since Santana's singing it, that she's singing it in the point of view of Taylor Swift, saying, like, look, like, you changed me, you made all this happen to me, you are the best thing that's ever been mine. So she's talking about Brittany, and Brittany is the best thing that's ever been hers. So it's like, when we all kind of knew that before this episode came out, we were all hopeful, right? Because you hear the lyrics, you see the Taylor Swift version, like, oh, yay, they went through this hard time, that fight, 2:30 a.m. part, and look, Brittany says, like, I'm not leaving you behind, like, I'm here, I'm staying. And then you have the whole end of the video, and it's all cute and happy, and Taylor Swift and the guy, like, have a baby or two, and look so happy, and then at the end, she's like, she could see it now, like, from that first moment they met. So it's like, yay, happy, right? But that, like, I don't even know. Let me just start, like, from the beginning of the episode, because, like, how super cute is it that they're freaking doing laundry together in Santana's room? Or at least I'm assuming that's Santana's room because it's all dark and stuff. And that last time we were in Santana's room, it was all dark and stuff. And Brittany's room is very, when we saw Brittany's room, it has like that turquoise flower wallpaper, and her bed is different. So it was definitely Santana's room because she's doing her laundry. So we find out that, Santana has been making it home every couple of weeks to do laundry, and she does that so that she could see Brittany. So she kind of we get a little glimpse of Santana again being Santana, like, I can't, in a nicer form, saying she can't believe that Kurt got that little internship in Vogue, and just gossiping with Brittany, like how they would normally do things, assumingly, right? Like any couple. And I just thought that it was just adorable that, like, they were acting like little housewives, like had their hair up in the little, like, harken to like the 1950s, 60s, like, hairdos and what they were wearing, and they were folding laundry together. Like, it just felt so domestic and wonderful, right? So then Brittany says that awkward, like, they even do like a cute little kiss while it's just adorable, just so happy, right? I'm like, yay, I was so excited. Um, Mind you, also, I should say that I work nights, so I was really bummed that I had to work Thursday night, because as much as I love DVR, I like to watch it live, right? Because, of course, there will be spoilers everywhere. You look on Tumblr, you look on Twitter, people are going nuts. So I was trying really hard that night to not look at anything, and I even snuck out of the room to go see part of the episode because I knew what time it was on. And of course, I picked, like, I was like, I need to go see what's happening. Like, I don't care. Because I tried so hard not to look online because obviously it aired on the East Coast, like, 6 o'clock right when I was leaving for work. So, anyway. So, of course, the moment that I picked to go look at it was exactly when St. Hannah was going to sing mine. Oh my god, I was like crying at work. I had to, like, act like I had to use the bathroom because I was sobbing so hard. Anyway, that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is, okay, anyway, let me go back. Rewind. I'm sorry. So, I just couldn't get over how adorable they were being together, right? And it's like you could totally see them doing this, right? I thought, oh yay, this is true. Like mine is correct. Like they're gonna make it. Out of all the couples, they're the ones who are gonna make it, right? Because they have this cute little adorable scene, and then Brittany talks about, oh well, I'm in this Left Behind club, and it's like, what the hell is this? Like I look Satana, I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, I'll just go to the club. So then it's hard because they have to keep cutting in between couples, right? So the next time we actually see Santana and Brittany is when they're sitting at breadsticks for Kitty's little Left Behind club talking about the rapture. And I really think this comes out of nowhere. I mean, I get it's a plot device for Brittany to finally show she's pissed at Santana. Like, yeah, you left me behind to see how it hurt me, like that girl. But I just found it to be very convoluted. Like, or I don't know. Like, I kind of wish instead of that being the way that Brittany tells Santana how she feels, that she literally just told Santana how she felt. Like, hasn't Brittany evolved from more than just saying one line and that means everything? I feel like she has. So, I mean, she could have conversations about Sam, about how much she misses Santana, but then when Santana's actually there, she can't say anything except, yeah, well, that's how it felt when I was left behind. Like, I mean, I get that. She has a right to be upset, okay? She has a right to tell, like, show Santana, like, yeah, I think it's great that, I feel like we have to assume so many things because literally that's all she said, right? I mean, pretty much. Because when the breakup actually happens, she's pretty mute. Like, I think she's just so shocked and overwhelmed, which, I mean, is an obviously perfectly perfect. Like, you should expect. Like, she didn't have to see it coming, so she was blindsided by it, so she didn't know how to say or what to say. But I feel like leading up to it, I guess, like, I just wish that they had more dialogue. I mean, she talked more about Santana with Sam than she did with Santana herself. Like I don't understand Ryan's way of. I think he's the one who wrote this episode. I mean, I don't get it. Like I wish Brad wrote that part of the episode because I feel like Brad gets them more because he's the one who's written all the good episodes about them. And it's like, I mean, I feel like writing. I think it's really hard right now with this show because I'm not even going to talk about the supposed breakup of Kitty and Jake. Like I don't even care about them. I think the show should go back to what the original plan was to like have two separate shows, like a show in New York City focusing on the kids who graduated, and then the one in Ohio focusing on the kids who are still there. I think that would just work much better. The way that they're doing it now, it's just too difficult. I think I think it puts the new actors who are playing these new characters at a disadvantage because we all love the characters that for the past 3 seasons, right? So this is season 4. So I think it puts them at a disadvantage because we all care about those characters. So it makes, at least for me, it makes it hard for me to feel invested or care about them. I mean, I enjoy them, I like them, but I feel it's like just a rehashing of like they're trying to repeat what they got with the Glee cast in season 1. So like Marley is like a new Rachel per se, and then Jake is like his brother Puck, and then Kitty is like Quinn, and then that new kid who won the Glee project is going to be like the new Finn. So everybody's new versions of pretty much everybody else who graduated, right? Because I mean, Tina's still there, Artie's still there, Sugar's still there, Sam's there. Those guys are still there, but they are obviously trying to replace the archetypes that left. And we're getting a rehashing again of like what happened, and even in a like worse way. Like Kitty is not Quinn. She's like a way worse form of her. Like Quinn at least had a side to her that was like soft and endearing, and obviously they're gonna, I mean, unless just like Santana, like everybody thought she was a bitch, but there was a reason why she was a bitch. There was a reason why Quinn like acted the way she acted. So right now we're not really seeing the reasons behind or the motivations behind Katie's character, which I think obviously is the point. And the other thing that gets me is like she doesn't even look like could be in high school. Like I'm sure this actress is great and she's wonderful. I heard she's a Broadway veteran, but like you know who looks like he could be in high school? Like Jake, because he literally is like 19, so he looks like it. And the girl who plays Marley, I mean, not quite believable as a sophomore, but she still has a young enough face, I guess. I think she just turned 24, which is basically like all the other Glee girls. They're 25, 26 or now or something. The boys are, you know, wide ranges of age, but I mean, whatever, it's Glee. But I digress. I digress a lot. I don't even know where this came from. But my point is like, I just feel like Ryan did a whole like disservice. Like, I feel like all the couples, again, as usual, got way more attention than Brittana, and they got thrown literally 3 scenes in this whole episode. Okay, and we're supposed to. The first scene of the episode was them being happy doing laundry. The second scene of this episode was Brittany being like, "Yeah, this is what it felt like for me to be left behind." See that girl crying? That's how I felt. It hurt. And then the third one is the breakup. And I'm like, where's the build up? I don't understand. Like, no backstory at all. Like, no real conversation between them. I mean, yes, they had the cute little laundry day thing, but we didn't really get into, like, anything, you know? And it was so one sided. Like, I mean, I understand the place where Santana's coming from, but I mean, I feel like the other breakups were more had more valid reasons, I guess, which is not to take away from the reasoning behind Santana breaking up with Brittany. Um, you know, but I feel like Rachel's like, screw this. Like, you set me free, then you can't be like, you want a place here anymore, because this is where I belong. So you need to figure your shit out, because I'm figuring my shit out. And then if things, I feel like that's basically the gist that I got from Rachel. Like, being like, you're a wonderful person, and you're great, and I love that you love me first, and you're my first love, and I want you to be my last, but like right now we just can't be together. Like it just can't happen because I need to be in New York. I want to be here and you don't. Fine. That's fine. I accepted. Fine. Moving on. With Clayne, it's like, what if you cheated? Understandable. Yes. What if you yeah, break up. What if you cheated? That sucks. Will and Emma, well, they're adults. Who cares about them? They're dealing with adult problems. But like, I think that it's it's not even that it's not valid. I do think it's valid. Long distance relationships suck. I tried to have one. It was horrible. It was really difficult. We broke up like literally like less than a month after we started because it was too hard to do a long distance thing. You know, like if the person you're trying to have a relationship with, and literally this was like the beginning of our relationship. I met her like right when she was going home. She was in LA for a vacation, and that's how I met her. And then she was going back home, and then we tried to set up things for the whole summer to try to see each other, but it just got too hard, you know. And it's like I can understand that, and I didn't have like a 3 year back history like Brittana did. Like I literally had like a 2 week like saw her every like saw her at the end of her 2 week vacation in LA for 3 days straight, and was like we hit it off. So we had 3 days, not 3 years. So I just feel like it's a disservice to all of us fans who've been wanting this relationship so badly, and the fact that they freaking just dismissed it all last season. Like it took so much effort to get Santana to a place where she was comfortable to be in a relationship with Brittany, and like literally we got I don't even know. I think somebody on Tumblr counted like how many interactions that they counted or minutes of dialogue they actually had together all last season, and it was like less than 6 minutes or something, which I totally believe because obviously Brittany was just used last season is as a pawn, or I don't even want to say pawn. I feel like that's the wrong word choice, but that she was used kind of like as a clutch to further bring Santana out of the closet and become accepting of herself. It's like they didn't. It's like I feel like the writers didn't have an epiphany until Promisaurus or whatever it's called, where she finally had scenes and was talking because she was senior class president and making the dinosaur theme prom was her like big thing. And it was like, hi, we haven't seen Brittany since the beginning of season 3 after she ran for the unicorn campaign and became class president. Then she just became mute and was silent for all of Santana's coming out, pretty much. And then she just started talking again towards the end, and that was it. It's like I don't fucking understand these fucking writers. I'm sorry. I'm sure they're wonderful people, but it just frustrates me to no end. So that's why I was excited when I saw that the way that the format was being done, it looks like this year, where like they had, it seems like they had less writers. Like they made Matt Hodgson, which is Naya's boyfriend, and somebody else more like story editors, whatever that's supposed to mean, but they weren't writing, or they haven't been writing these episodes so far. So far these episodes have been written by either Ryan, I think has written most of them, or I think Brad wrote one of them, or Ian did. But anyway, like the main three that started this series are writing them for them. So I guess gave me hope again, like because I felt like they would have more continuity. Um, okay, so anyway, I guess I could just start with the breakup scene now because I'm fucking 20 minutes into this video and like this is not how long I thought I'd be talking about this, but like I said, it's Brittana. So if you're still listening, awesome. If not, obviously this is just for me. so so I was talking about how hopeful I was when we all heard Mine, the Taylor Swift version, before this episode aired, right? But you could just tell, all right, they by this part of the episode, it was 21:40. I remember because I went to go sneak out into the lounge to go watch the TV where we let the parents stay, and nobody was in the lounge. So I literally went there to go find Glee, and like the thing that happens is right after the first thing after commercial break is Brittany peeking into the choir room saying, "You wanted to see me," and I look at Santana, I'm like, "Oh fuck, they're gonna break them up." Like you don't even need to know anything else. Just looking at the way Santana looked at her, I'm like, shit, they're gonna fucking. I was like, no, 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 this can't be happening, right? And so, and then she makes this like, so Brittany walks in and she could kind of tell like something's up, right? Her eyes already even look like so. It's obvious that they did not do this take in one cut. Obviously, they have to do lots of different versions or whatever. Her eyes already looked watery, so it's obvious that she was crying. Her eyes, you could just tell, like Heather acts so much with her face, I guess, which is amazing considering they really don't give her lines. So you do have to she does have to kind of act with her face and her facial expressions. But it was just like that she had that scared, timid, like little lamb kind of look on her face, like oh no, what's going on, right? And then Santana had this like steeled kind of like trying to keep it together look on the chairs, right? And then she made that little confession, like, I used to sit back here sophomore year and, count the number of times you'd smile at me and then die in the days that you wouldn't. That little line. And, oh, God, it was like, that confirmed, like, I think for me, I was like, yes, ever since sophomore year, ever since the show freaking started, that's how you felt. Like, I thought, oh, God, thank you, Ryan, for giving us that one line. Thank you. Like, oh, God. I mean, that line was beautiful because you could see like Brittany kind of soften and be like, okay, well maybe it's not like I felt like that was us too. Like, well maybe they're not going to break up. Like she's telling her that this is like she misses this room and this is where they fell in love, and I was like, oh okay. And then she starts talking about how like basically saying like how when I can't say what I want to say, I can say it in song, right? And we're like, yeah, they're gonna sing mine, right? And I unfortunately had already because they had first listen whatever day it is now, but I had heard her version of mine, and I noticed that it was like definitely a more somber version than Taylor Swift's version, where it just felt sadder, right? So it's one thing for it to hear it on YouTube, prior to seeing how it's gonna act out, but forget it. Like I knew once you hear the chords playing and like you could tell like Naya is like is trying to like steal herself because like you could just tell this is going to be an emotional performance. Like what performance by Santana to Brittany is not an emotional performance? They all have been like landslide between the two of them, and then Songbird. I mean, it's just oh gosh, cries all around, right? So I remember hearing the music start, and then you could see like Brittany and Santana sitting across from each other. Like, oh fuck, she's gonna break up with her. She's gonna break up with her. You could just tell. And as the song progressed, and I mean, Naya kills the song. I think that people are trying to compare which version is better or whatever. I think it's really hard for most songs to live up to the original. I think it's great when they do their own spin on it, which is what they did here. They didn't. Taylor's version was way more hopeful, way more upbeat, and this version was more stripped down, literally, like more acoustic even. I think because they didn't. Yeah, they just had a guitar, drums, and like that's the thing. It's not a harmonica, but it's a country music thing. I can't even whatever. And I think it was amazing that I never thought that Nia's voice would be suited to sing like a country type song like Taylor Swift's voice is. No, Taylor's more country pop, but I think honestly at this point, Nia could sing like anything and I would listen to it. The phone book, or whatever. Her voice is amazing, and it made me miss her in these episodes because she only literally had 3 scenes in this episode, and look at what the impact she made. It's like I missed Naya and I missed Santana in these episodes so much, just as much as Brittany did. Haha, maybe that was Ryan Murphy's plan, like make us all miss Santana so much, just like Brittany, and then get our hearts broken, just like Brittany did, because I felt like that's what happened. So anyway, so you can tell that Naya's having difficulty. Or let's just talk about the characters, not the actors themselves. That Santana is singing this heartfelt song to Brittany, pulling all her emotion in it because Naya's a fucking amazing actress and can keep it together while she's singing and crying at the same time. And I've watched this episode several times already, so I can tell now when they're cutting in and out. When they're doing one cut to another cut. So the first pretty big difference is like if you look at the first scene, um, Heather, Brittany's wearing earrings in the first pan shot of them, and then afterwards she's not wearing any earrings at all. So that's at least 2 shots, and then it seems pretty seamless the shot until the big note at the end when she's saying like she's the best that's ever been mine, and Nia does her cute little hand things when she sings, and then she's holding her chest, and they do a close up on her face. It kind of cuts fast, so that was another take too. Because then I feel like they had to do another take because at one point, like, look at Brittany and, like, Heather. Oh my god. I feel like this episode shows how much she's grown as an actress. Like, she went from being this, like, funny, haha, like, dolphins are just gay sharks one-liner bit to, like, she's full on crying at this performance. And she barely says, like, 2 lines. She says 2 lines, I think, in this whole interaction with Santana. She basically says, at the end of Santana singing, she's like, I don't like sad songs because sad songs make me sad, right? And then Santana goes off on her little explaining what happened or why. No, she says 3 lines, and she goes, I would never cheat on you. When Santana, says, like, she doesn't want to be like those other couples, meaning like Blaine and Kurt, where one of them cheats or whatever. And right away, Brittany says, I would never cheat on you. Right away. Which I guess confirms what Ryan said, saying Brittany's not a cheater. And it's like, you kind of were like, well, whatever, she cheated on Artie with Santana. But I feel like most of us believe that that's because she was trying to make Santana jealous in the first place, that she didn't expect to, like, have feelings for Artie or feel anything for Artie, but that's just the kind of person that she is. It's not that she's naive or stupid, obviously. She just loves all people, or she's like pansexual, I guess, or bisexual, whatever she is. It doesn't even matter. So then the other line that Brittany says, is basically at the end, like, well, this feels like a breakup, right? And then at the end she goes, I love you too. So she says 4 lines in this whole scene with Santana. And it's like, I don't understand, like, I understand. I think that Santana's making the right. I understand where Santana's coming from. I just feel like their breakup was rushed out of all the others. However, theirs was the most mature. And I feel like it gives me the most hope that they'll end up back together. Besides, you already know Rachel will be at the end when this show wraps up, and probably Clayton and Kurt will be too, right? They should hopefully tie everything up in a nice big bow when this show decides to end. And so it gives me hope that Brittany and Santana will too. And I feel like it's necessary at this point, almost, as much as it breaks my heart. I feel like all the points that Santana made were valid. She's basically saying it because it's not that I don't love you anymore. It's because I do love you so much, and I know that I can't be here for you in the way that you need me to be, and I want to be. I know, she's like, I love you, I miss you. I haven't been a good, she even says, I haven't been a good girlfriend. That's how she starts out. And then she says her little spiel. And I think the only part that makes me concerned is the part when she goes, this isn't an unofficial breakup. So I don't know if she's trying to, like, lessen the blow to all of us and to Brittany by saying that, or what that actually means. It's very ambiguous. Like, that could mean so many different things. I've read people's thoughts online. Well, maybe that means when she's back in Ohio doing laundry, quote unquote, they could be together. But that when she's not there, she's giving Brittany, like, rein to, like, find comfort in somebody else. Which I think, like, again, I said, is a very mature thing of Santana to be doing. Like, I just feel like I'm impressed with the way that her character they're both characters have grown since season 1 is amazing. But, I think, they're obviously trying to show the separation between the high schoolers and the kids who graduated. You could tell it like with Rachel and the way she's dressing now. She's dressing like amazingly. God, Leah's hot. So I'm glad they took her out of her little reindeer sweaters and she's looking amazing, like in the new Rachel. And the way Santana dressed, they set her apart from the kids too. Like if you look at what she's wearing versus, what the high school kids are wearing, she's looking way more sophisticated. I think it's also jarring for me too because obviously we we didn't really get to see her outside of clothes outside her Cheerios uniform. So now we get to see her out dressing like how an 18-year-old, I guess, girl dresses when you look as hot as Santana does. So I feel like they're trying to make that separation just as much as they can. Like her hair is down and she's wearing whatever what Santana wants to wear, supposedly. And I think obviously the costume department gets kudos because Anaya looked amazing. Everybody looked great, is looking great. And I think she does make valid points. And I feel like they're breaking up not because they don't love each other. They do. That's the point. They love each other so much that they can't stand to be hurting each other this way. And Santana recognizes and sees it, and she even says to Brittany, like, and Brittany knows it too. She does, but it's just in the moment you can see when. I think the thing that broke my heart. I mean, yes, Brittany was crying, and that made me cry even more because I mean, Santana was crying at the end of singing too, and that was heartbreaking. But it's like it was even harder because I felt like we were all Brittany watching it from Brittany's perspective. We didn't want this to happen, and it's happening to us. And here's Santana saying like it's for the best. Let's do the mature thing here. And then when she even says like you get it right, and like Brittany's like no, and I felt like I was shaking my head too. And then she freaking oh my god, I don't want to start crying now. But like the thing that killed me, honestly, like the whole thing, like she was crying and you could tell like Naya can cry, I guess, but I feel like Brittany's a better crier because Naya's had to cry several times now, and I feel like it's probably because she's so well seasoned as an actress, like she can make it happen, like her eyes get all watery, and like you can see like one tear drop down, but she's supposed to be Santana, so she can't cry, so she holds it all in. So I think that's what it is. And Brittany's Brittany, right? So like I just feel like she wears all her emotions on her sleeve. So it's like towards the end of it, you can see how there's eyes getting all misty and like getting more and more red, and she starts. You can even notice her lip quiver. I swear, I've seen this video so many times, so I already know. Like I know at what time you can see Heather's lip quiver. It's just oh god, she did so much emoting just watching her sing. I can only imagine what it was like if I had that happen and had somebody sing like that to me, I would have lost it. Like she held it together really well, and then she had to speak while she was crying too, and she still sounded like Britney. I think it's good they only gave her one line here or there because she was able to like choke them out, but the one that got me in the end was the last one because when she was like shaking her head like no and Santana sings like but I love you too, like, you know, I will whatever that line, fuck, I can't even remember right now, I'm so upset. I will always love you the most. And then like that's when like Brittany loses it and like she really starts crying. Like if she wasn't crying before, she's really crying. And then like Santana goes in, like they kiss and it's like, oh my god, look, they still do love each other. And then she wraps her up in a hug and then you see, oh my god, and then you see freaking Brittany over her shoulder say like I love you, and then she couldn't even say two, she chokes it out and more tears come and they cut the scene. I'm like, motherfuckers, like, oh my god. The first time I saw that I had to like literally stop my DVR and I was like, the DVR was the second time I saw it. The first time I saw it, I was at work, so I was an utter mess. Like, I had to go and like, so I already knew. Like, I literally stayed there from the beginning of that scene till that, and that was it. I left, and then I snuck back in for the end of the scientist, and I saw Brittany. I saw Heather get to sing. Finally, it sounds like her in her real voice, not as Kesha or Brittany, which was exciting. Um, but anyway, I digress yet again. Um, yeah, I was a fucking mess at work. I was so sad for the rest of the night. And then after that, I went on. I really shouldn't be saying this because I have a pretty serious job, and I shouldn't say that I'm on the internet while I'm at work. But, I mean, it's the fucking middle of the night. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So I was like looking on my Tumblr and looking at. Well, I didn't even look at Twitter. I just looked at Tumblr, and people were dying left and right, like talking about it. Like it was just too much to handle. So when I got home, I almost didn't want to watch the whole episode in its entirety to see how it all plays out because I didn't see the other scenes. But that just broke my heart even more. So when I saw it the second time around, yeah, I was crying just as bad, even worse. and I have cried ever since. Every time I see it, I just get. Now it's like I know whenever I'm going to hear mine in a grocery store for Taylor Swift, like I'm just going to think of Santana's version. Just like whenever I hear Landslide now, I think of that version, and just it gets me inside. Anyway, anyway, the whole point of this is like I understand the motivations. I understand why they did this. I mean, I feel like I'm stealing now from other people's things that I've read, and I'm just kind of, I don't mean to be plagiarizing or whatever, but I think somebody said, I don't understand why they have to make these big epic episodes. Like the one when they have sex, how many couples have sex? Like Kurt and Blaine, Rachel and Finn. Who else had sex in that episode? I can't even remember. You know what I mean? They all have to do it all together. So when they have a breakup episode, they break up everybody. But I think that I think that it is true to life. Like this is how it is. Some of them are not in Ohio anymore. In like Santana, so that's also true for Kurt and Blaine and Santana and Brittany. Distance sucks. I mean, all of them are realistic, which is hard because Glee tends to live in its own little universe and make up shit up like it wants. So they're trying to be realistic here. And yes, I'm pissed at Ryan and Ian and Brad for doing this, but at the same time, I understand it. I just think, and I think it's right. I think it reinvigorates the whole series now and how they're going to go forward from this and how all these people are going to have to be, outside of the relationship that we're used to seeing them in. Honestly, I think I'm excited to see Kurt and Blaine, honestly, because like I said, I felt like they got dull. Like, I think Kurt even said, like, the old lesbian deathbed or whatever horrible, thing. But I think it's true. I think that they got boring. And I think I'm excited for Blaine to be real, like, I'm sorry, this is, like, horrible, to be realizing so when he tells Sam, like, I just realized that I came to the school for Kurt and Kurt's not here. So I'm excited for that, because, I mean, I like Darren, but I never really liked Blaine, per se, so we'll see how it goes. Sam, I mean, well, Sam's not with Mercedes. I guess they just said that, like, it was another fling again. So whatever. Let's not address that. They were super cute together, so we'll see when Mercedes comes back and when Mike comes back for Tina and everything. But I think that I mean, I feel like it's appropriate because at this time of their stage of their lives, they're 18. That graduated from, like, people like Blaine and Brittany, are seniors. And then, I mean, it happens all the time. People have, like, boyfriends who go off to college and girlfriends who go off to college and they're still seniors or juniors in school. How do you deal with that? Can your relationship survive? It's hard. And I feel like all of it is very realistic considering this is Glee. And like it gives me that much more hope that, like, especially for Brittany and Santana and the way that they left it, that we all know how much they still love each other. So it gives me that much more hope that, like, they'll be able to find their way back to that. You know? And as far as them setting up Brittany with Sam, I'm really hoping they don't go there. I mean, it's not because I want Brittany to be only because with Santana or, like, make her a lesbian or whatever. No. I just feel like I want Brittany to make more friends. I think that's a big thing that they're trying to do this season. They're trying to have Brittany have some growth as a character because she's less on. I think the big thing with Brittany 2.0, was her everybody realizing, like, this is Brittany trying to navigate a world without Santana, since she's been so used to having Santana there by her side, since we saw them as sophomores, and if you believe fan fiction, like, they've known each other since they were in kindergarten, right? Like, that's what we all like to believe. They met, whatever, how they met. They didn't meet in high school. They've known each other forever. So you have all of that with it. So it's like this is the first time that Brittany has to navigate all of this without Santana by her side, like her protector. And that's the role, that's the kind of all the feeling that we got. Like, Santana protected her from a lot of things, and now that Santana's not there, she has to learn how to do it herself. So I'm excited to see the growth that Brittany will have, and in that fact, I hope that, like, it seems like she's making friends with Blaine Warbler, which was really cute, like, in the beginning, and they're talking when they're looking at Jake and Marley or whatever, and, like, looking all nostalgic, remembering when the first time when they met, when they were meeting each other or whatever, or, So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about, like, I don't know, I'm excited to see how they make Brittany grow. Because, I mean, they did an amazing job with Santana's character, so let's see what they do with Brittany's character, since they all seem to love Heather so much. So I feel like that gives me a little bit more hope, because knowing how much they love her. Like, how much they love her as an actress and a dancer and everything, her talent. So hopefully Ryan is bringing that more into play with that whole episode focused on Brittany, which was hysterical. Not as strong as Brittany, but still, I mean, the point of it nonetheless was, you know, to show the other side of what happened to Brittany. And obviously, it's a good time because now Brittany's on the X Factor and look at how much she's thrived and everything. So I feel like that was the point. Like they made her have a whole like meltdown, downhill story. Like Brittany says to make a comeback, to come back up again. Um, so I understand. I mean, my therapist says this all the time. You could, in your head, you could logically understand how something is supposed to be, but your heart could just hurt so much. And that's how I feel. I logically get it. My brain can focus and understand it, but it's my heart that breaks knowing they're not together. And knowing that that means we'll probably see less and less of Santana because now she's gonna. So now that they've officially broken up, quote unquote, who knows how often we'll see Santana now, which breaks my heart because Brittana is like obviously one of the main reasons why I watch Glee. I'm not gonna abandon ship. I'm still on, you know, on course for Brittana. I still love Glee. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm not gonna jump ship at all. But I'm just gonna be that much sadder because Santana's not gonna be there. Um, but apparently she'll be there for the Grease episode, right? I wonder. It's so convoluted the way they're doing this. So obviously now they're on hiatus because the baseball season is ramping up for the postseason. So they're not going to be back till November 8th, which sucks because then you realize they're only probably going to have, well, November is November sweeps. So that's good. We're going to have 3 solid episodes for sure. And then they're probably going to do maybe a Christmas episode. So like, okay, so we've already had 4 episodes. So probably before they go on break for like Christmas, for sure, that's going to be like a whole other long like month or so. We're probably only going to get another 4 episodes in, or 5 if we're lucky. If you're thinking about the timeline, they're going to have to do Grease. They're going to have to do a sectionals episode at some point, obviously, before Christmas. That's usually how they do it. And then they're going to have the kids coming back, like Quinn's supposed to be coming back sometime for the holidays. So whether that's Thanksgiving, they never really did a Thanksgiving episode, so probably a Christmas episode. They're going to have more of the kids back because I've already seen the Christmas album song choices or whatever. So they've already started doing that. Obviously, they planned it ahead. So I'm just thinking like logically what that means. So November 8th. Where's my fuck is my thing? I'm just trying to count because usually most TV episode seasons have 20, 22-ish episodes. And we've already had 4. So in November they're gonna be back. Oh shit, they're gonna be missing on the 1st. So we should be getting an episode on the 8th and the 15th. The 22nd is actually Thanksgiving, so we probably will not get an episode that day. A new one, I don't think. So 1, 2, the 29th we should get an episode, I'm guessing. 1, 2, 3. And then we might get one more in December. So yeah, like 4, maybe 5 if we're lucky. Because if you follow the trend of what Glee's been doing lately, that's what happens. They do a brand new Christmas episode, and then the rest of December they'll just play season 2 and season 3's Christmas episode again. And then they won't be back till after January, or pretty much till February sweeps happens. Yeah. So, the 2 big ratings times in the TV land. And they tend to take breaks like that. They did a long ass break, like 6-week break last year. So, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm thinking way ahead, like I tend to. But like I said, we're probably gonna get like hopefully 5 more episodes before they take a long ass another break like this, another month break. So I think I'm just gonna support myself by eating Ben and Jerry's and watching season 1 over, because I feel like that's where we got the hope and the feelings of Brittana. And even season 2. Season 3 just made me sad. Like, I can't, it's too fresh. So I feel like season 1, I'll still see things that I forgot about. So I think that's what I'm going to do this whole month off. And I'm sorry this video is so fucking long. I can't believe I could talk about Brittana forever so I apologize for this video being this long, and I'm probably going to be the only one who's going to be rewatching this anyway to see what an idiot I made of myself fangirling over them. But anyway, I guess this is it for now. I'll see you all on after November 8th, when I don't think that's the Grease episode yet, but who knows? I could be wrong. I don't really know how this is going. It's obvious when they show the the spoilers or the previews, they're cutting a bunch of episodes together, so you don't really quite know which episode is going to be what, because they tape multiple episodes at the same time. It's not as seamless as it looks when we get it on our TV screens. Um, yeah. So anyway, I hope all of you are well. Thank you for watching this video. If you stayed till the end, amazing. Whatever you did, just thank you for watching, and take care. Okay. Peace out, homies. Bye.